Hi guys, welcome to Full Time Devils. I am Adam Acola. This is Transfer Daily Live, and as you can tell, it's not 8 p.m. We're live early. That means there's some breaking news, and the breaking news coming through is that Marcus Rashford has signed a new long-term deal, keeping him at the club for at least another 4 years, possibly another year on top of that, because it's a 4-year deal with the possibility of an extra year extension as well. And there's been lots of talk about how much Marcus Rashford is actually getting paid. I don't know why people always do this to themselves. Transfer fees, wages, who cares? Footballers live in a world that we don't. They can afford things that we can only dream of. They're always going to be paid a lot of money. Why does it matter to us? Is it coming out of our pockets? No, it isn't. And the more money coming out of the Glazers' pockets, the better. As long as it's not being leached off by them and being taken away somewhere else. So, Marcus Rashford has signed a new deal. We'll be looking at his quotes since signing that long-term contract. We'll be looking into further details, and we'll be looking into the speculation surrounding the young man's wages. 21 years old, signing. He came through the ranks at Manchester United, broke on the scene in that game against Midtjylland because of injuries to Anthony Martial, to Will Keane, to James Wilson, I think was injured at the time as well. It meant Marcus Rashford was thrust into the limelight, given an opportunity, and he grabbed that opportunity by both hands, scoring on every single debut that he made. Europa League debut, England debut, Premier League debut, Manchester United debut. Every single debut he made, he was scoring goals in his first derby, his first game against Arsenal. He scored against Liverpool, he scored against Chelsea, he scored against all the top teams in the Premier League, and there's so much more to come from Marcus Rashford. Last season, we didn't get to see a lot of his best football, but you've got to expect that with a player that's coming through at a young age in a team that's been underperforming, inconsistent, chopping and changing their managers. You're going to expect inconsistency. We do need the likes of Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial to really knuckle down and gain that consistency into their performances, because if they have consistency, there's no reason why both of those players can't get 20 to 25 goals per season. Anyway, I'm going to dive into the comments very, very soon, and then we're going to get looking at all these reports around his wages. I'm going to see how you guys are getting on as well. We got Calvin in the comments, we got Daniel in the comments, we got Vukasin in the comments as well. How are you guys doing? All good, yeah? I see we've made a mistake right there. It was supposed to be Aaron Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace. Sorry, we'll edit that and we'll sort that out very, very soon. Hey, what is going on with this comment right here? It says, Adam, you're clearly team Martial and spread negativity on his name. What negativity did I just say about Anthony Martial? That he needs to gain consistency? I think anybody can see that he needs to gain consistency into his game, but that's a byproduct of having these young players coming through at the club. It's gonna happen. You're gonna get players that are inconsistent when they're coming through and they're young. That's what's going to happen. That's a risk that you take in playing these younger players, and obviously we have that risk with these players, but we've had these players in the first team now for a while, so they do need to start, bucking up their ideas a little bit. It's as simple as that. I'm not digging out at him. I'm not getting on his back. I'm just saying simple facts that we need consistency from both Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford in the near future. That edit has been made now, as you can see. Voila, like nothing was wrong in the first place. So, let's get into those comments. Ben Yedda soon says, yes, we'll talk about Ben Yedda. He's been linked with Manchester United for a while as a possible replacement for Romelu Lukaku. So, let's get, as someone just mentioned in the comments, what do you think about his wages? Well, let's talk about the wages stuff. First of all, I don't really care about wages of a footballer because, what does it matter to me? But there's been a lot of reports about Marcus Rashford's wages. There were the reports that he was demanding £350,000 per week, which was absolutely ridiculous. There was talk that this contract's worth £300,000 per week, which again I think is absolutely ridiculous. He's on a heavily incentivized contract. I don't know the numbers and the insides out, but the Sun surely don't know the numbers. The Mail don't. These guys don't know the numbers. They're making things up, and what people are doing at the moment is capitalising on the anger and the frustration that Manchester United fans have at the minute. When Alexis Sanchez joined Manchester United, there was rumours of him being on £500,000, £600,000 per week. He's not. He's on £375,000 per week with bonuses added on top, which could take it to that. He hasn't been worth many of his bonuses. He's not worth £375,000 per week. I'm not saying he's only on 30, like it's nothing. But £375,000 a week is not the £500,000 and the £600,000 that was being reported. And the same will be the case here with Marcus Rashford. He may, if he scores loads of goals in games in a week, and he scores, he gets Player of the Month or wins the Premier League, or I don't know, wins the Ballon d'Or. He may then get heavily incentivized bonuses, which give him a contract that would be worth that much overall. But that relies on him scoring the goals and being the best player that he can be. And if he can do that, then by all means take all of the dash. But he's not going to be doing that if he's not performing. He's not going to be earning £300,000, £250,000 per week if he's not performing. It just simply doesn't make sense. And I think a lot of these newspapers as well are including image rights and things like that into these deals, which again are based on the player's profitability as a commercial asset to the club. So there's so many things you got to take into consideration here. But one of them is, and it's a big one, a lot of these sources are chatting shit. They are. And you've got to take every number that you see with a pinch of salt and probably divide it by 2 or 3 as well, because a lot of it's not true. It's a heavily incentivized deal, and if he's getting it, happy days. But he's definitely not getting £300,000 a week, 100%. And if he does, that would be because he's banging hat-tricks every week, and United are top of the league and winning things, which, if the case, happy days. Sandesh says he reckons it's around 150,000 a week. I think it'll be between 100 and 150k basic, and then you add on all the bonuses and stuff, which could take it there, but it depends on him performing. We're going to dive in. Adam asks, what's Bruno Fernandes saying? We'll dive into the comments and the news and the transfer rumours that are going on surrounding United at the moment. But obviously Marcus Rashford signing a new contract at Manchester United, which will keep him at the club till at least 2023 and possibly beyond as well for an extra year. Marcus Rashford said, Manchester United has been everything in my life since I arrived here at the age of 7. This club has shaped me both as a player and as a person. It's such a privilege every time I get an opportunity to wear the shirt. I want to thank Ollie and his staff for everything they've done for me. They're a perfect group of coaches to learn from as I continue my development and look to push on to the next level. I'll be giving everything I have to help get this club back to where it belongs and deliver the success that our fans deserve. Ollie said Marcus is one of the most talented English players of his generation, an outstanding player blessed with natural pace and energy. He's a shining example of the talent that our academy produces, and his upbringing means that he understands what it means to play for United. Despite only being 21 years old, Marcus already has great experience. He has a fantastic future ahead of him with the club, and I'm delighted he has signed a new contract. So both player and manager happy, and I'm happy with Marcus Rashford staying, because regardless of the wages, regardless of all this, that and the other, he's a player that understands Manchester United. Yes, he wasn't performing well at times last season, but he was playing injured for a lot of the tail end of last season. And how many players do that, put their bodies on the line, play injured? I remember that game against Liverpool where it was clear he needed to be substituted, and he kept working, he kept grafting, he kept battling for the cause. And that's all you can want from your player. That's all you can expect from your players, and he does just that. Yes, we expect his quality to improve. Yes, we expect him to get better at free kicks. Yes, we expect him to score more goals. But I think that will be coming from Marcus Rashford. I think that will come. He's had an incredible career so far, and in the little time that he's had and what he's achieved. He's won everything at Manchester United apart from the Premier League and the Champions League. Those are the kind of trophies we expect to be winning here, and hopefully he can be part of a team that in the next 3, 4, 5 years brings us back to that position of winning those kind of trophies, because that's where we need to be. And I think Marcus is a top talent who's going in the right direction. What's going on, Ashwin? Hope you're well, even though you call me Howson first. We'll have none of that. Is Ollie strong enough to sell anyone? Says Crossfade. It's true, we need to see some players getting rid of. He did talk the talk last season, saying if players aren't good enough, they'll be gone. We need to see players gone. We need to see players taken out of this team. It probably relies on us getting players in first, and then being able to say, right, we've got X, Y, and Z, and now we need to look elsewhere in terms of who's going to leave, so that we can maybe bring in another 1 or 2 players. Simon Stone has reported, and he's usually very reliable, that it's a £200,000 a week deal to 2023 with the option for another year. Still an awful lot of money, but it shows you how much money is in the game at the moment. Dejan says, our mate is just 21. He was 7 when he came to us. He deserves the contract for what he has done. Who would you sell, says David. We've done a 3 and 3 out, so this will be coming soon. Darmian, Rojo or Jones. I'd sell one of them, probably Rojo. So I'd go Darmian to make way for Fosu Mensah in the squad. Rojo or Jones to make way for Axel Tuanzebe in the squad. Then I'd make way. I don't think Matic is going to leave, but I'd be looking to get rid of him in the next season or 2. So we need 2 more midfielders already, so if we're losing another one, we need 3. So I can't see us letting go of Matic. But I bring in 2 midfielders. Who else can go? Ashley Young isn't going to go. Chris Smalling isn't going to go. These are players that aren't going to leave the club. So it's pointless us saying, oh, we need to get them out, etc. I think Fred will be given another opportunity to prove himself. I'd also personally get rid of Alexis Sanchez to make way for more money on the wage bill, but it's probably going to be difficult to get rid of him. And then I'd also... I don't think this one has to be done, and I'd only do it if there's a good enough replacement coming in, because the guy is, goals regardless of what you think of how he plays. But Romelu Lukaku, if you can get a big fee for him, bring us player in that's going to score goals, that can play all across the front line. It allows you to play Rashford and Martial through the middle more, who are more suited to the way Ole Gunnar Solskjaer plays. Then probably that makes more sense. So those are the players I'd see go. Who did I say? Darmian, Rojo or Jones, making way for Fosu and Tuanzebe. Then I'd go with Sanchez and possibly Romelu Lukaku as well. We've obviously already lost Valencia. We've already lost Herrera. So that would be quite a bit of the older lads go in as well. When you look at it, Alexis Sanchez, Darmian, Rojo, they're some of the older players in our squad. So you'd be trimming down the average age as well as the wage bill. Sancho, says Calvin, that's probably going to be one for next summer. So Jacob mentions Maguire, Fernandes, Longstaff. Sean Longstaff's been linked with the club. Well, we'll look at the rumours now regarding Sean Longstaff. Been linked with the club, and reports in Newcastle that Manchester United are going to be making an offer for the player very, very soon, which is likely to be around 20 million plus add-ons. If you're getting a player like Longstaff for 20 million plus add-ons, and then possibly bringing in another central midfielder who's a bit more experienced as well, I'd be happy with that. If Longstaff's the only central midfielder we signed, I'd not be happy with that, because that'd probably just be replacing Herrera's position in our squad. Then who are we going to bring in anyway? So we need to bring in another player in that central area. A lot of rumours that it's going to be Bruno Fernandes. The Telegraph are saying that United are expected to step up their efforts to sign a midfielder this week with Longstaff and Bruno Fernandes to be the one. And there's also been a rumour, I think it was from the Telegraph or the Times actually, that Manchester United wanted a defensive midfielder and a attacking midfielder or a creative midfielder. So if that's the case, and we were going to sign a defensive midfielder and a creative midfielder, who would those players be for you? Again, you could look at, maybe that is Sean Longstaff because he plays in a holding role. He's got a great eye for a pass. Young could improve, so he fits into that kind of player that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been signing. And then Bruno Fernandes as well. He's young, is more creative, can score goals, make assists, and he plays further up the field. Those two would tick both of those boxes, and those two are the players that we've been linked to. But as we've seen in the past, you could sign a player that you never ever saw coming. So, you can't always go by what the rumours are saying, because sometimes they are wrong. And who knows, Bruno Fernandes could end up at Liverpool, could end up at another club that isn't Manchester United. So a lot longer of a way to go in this transfer window, but looking forward to it, how it all develops, and hopefully United are on the right side of it. Wissam Ben Yedder has been linked with Manchester United as well, and the latest reports are that United have everything agreed with the player. This is coming out of Spain, I believe. United have everything agreed with the player, with the striker for the signing, and the transfer is being pushed, and it will be pushed if Romelu Lukaku leaves Manchester United. It's dependent on that. Now, obviously, Inter Milan haven't stumped up the money for Romelu Lukaku yet. Again, we hear reports that they're going to come in with a 60-odd, £70 million bid. If that's the case, then I can see us moving forward and letting him go and bringing in someone else. Wissam Ben Yedder, in terms of his movement, in terms of the way he plays, would probably fit in. Is he the guaranteed goals that Romelu Lukaku is? Not in my opinion. Lukaku is a better striker and a better goal scorer, but maybe it's time to buy players that are more suited to the system rather than just, you know, the big names that are you know, we think are the proven talents that they're going to come in and be. So it's an interesting one. I hope United make at least 2 or 3 more signings. We can't just be relying on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka to be enough. But we saw last season we finished second, United, and the board didn't make enough signings, and we didn't close that gap, and the gap got bigger. And now we need to do more business, and we'll be covering it all here on Full Time Devils. We'll also be covering you on the pre-season tour as well, so keep it locked for more information on that coming very, very soon. But for now, guys, I have been Adam McCullough. This has been the Transfer Daily Live for today, where Marcus Rashford has signed a brand new deal at Manchester United, believed to be around £200,000 per week, keeping him at the club to at least 2023 and possibly 2024. Get your reaction in the comments below. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing. Make sure you're subscribing to Full Time Devils as well. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and like the video on your way out. See you later.